Hi there. We are continuing our series about adult improvement in chess. You can find the link to the whole series down below in the description of the video. So I think this is a very important topic, and it's logical to start with this topic, the study of openings. How should you and how should you not study openings if you are an adult who is below 2000 ELO points rated? I will just share some general remarks with you, and I will show you some things on the board. Let's say that you are an adult, you found your passion in chess, and then you decided to put some effort and study chess seriously. So it's only natural to have tendency to start from the beginning. So the game of chess begins with an opening, so it's logical that one should study openings. And this is the path most of us took. So you go in the bookstore, you buy some opening book or on Amazon, or you purchase a DVD or purchase an opening course on Chessable, whatever suits you. And then you start learning variations. So variation after variation. Okay, if he goes there, I go there. You analyze the positions and so on. And this can be very, very time consuming. So I believe this is a wrong approach to study chess as an adult. I'm not saying it's wrong to study openings or it's bad to study openings. And if you have like 10 hours a day for chess, by all means do it. It will be useful. But most of us don't. If you are an adult improver, you most likely have maybe half an hour, up to 2 hours a day for chess. So let's say it's 1 hour. So it's a very, very precious 1 hour. And so the question is not whether you should study, is studying opening good or bad. The question is this time spent in a good manner if you study openings, or you can spend this time better. So this precious 1 hour a day which you have, can you spend it better to improve in chess than studying openings? And the answer is yes. Because I deeply believe, according to everything I've read and studied in my own experience, that the openings are the least important thing for players below 2000 ELO point rated. At this level, let's say 1500 or 1600, so the games are almost never won because someone knew more opening theory. I mean, they are never won because of that. I think I can say never. The game of chess is won by him who has more chess knowledge, who has better positional understanding, and most important, who is better in tactics, who has better tactical vision and tactical awareness. I'll talk about acquiring general chess knowledge and how to train tactics in the next videos. So let's stick to the opening in this video. And of course, you can ask, okay, if studying opening is not so important, why then so many opening books, opening theories out there, opening repertoires, DVDs, Chessable courses, and so on? Well, the answer is that openings become important, but much later. If you are IM or GM, then opening is something you should master. And this is of essence if you are a GM, because you play another GM who is of similar strength as you, who knows his tactics very well, who has positional understanding good as you do. So you have to find an edge. You have to find some advantage to be better than your opponent. And usually this is the opening on these high levels, but not on lower levels. So you can compare this to any other sport. So for example, if you start to play tennis as an adult and you want to learn the game of tennis, then the racket you have is the least important thing. So you can have any racket which is functional, which is okay, and it's all the same until you learn your backhands, your forehands, your smashes, your serving, and so on. It doesn't matter do you have a professional racket or you have some amateur racket. And it will be ridiculous to think that if you buy the most expensive professional racket, that you'll have some kind of advantage over the more experienced player. But of course, once you are a professional in tennis and the two high professionals are playing, then if one has some amateur racket and one has professional racket, it can make a difference. Okay, so what do you need to know if you are below, say, 2000 or even 2200? So you need to know good opening principles. You need to understand openings to understand opening principles. So I'm talking about basic stuff. So you should put your pawn in the center, develop your pieces on active squares, preferably knights before bishops. You should tuck your king into safety by castling, coordinate the rooks by moving your queen on the second or third rank, play in the center, and so on. So if you don't trust me, you can say, okay, I'm talking nonsense. You can check everything I say by analyzing your own games. So just pick up your own games, turn on the engine, and see the moment when the game entered into middle game phase. And you will see often that if you don't blunder, if you don't do some positional blunders or tactical blunders, which are obvious, you'll be plus or minus 0.3, 0.4 after the opening. So on our level, it's equal. I mean, we are not super GMs, so that the advantage of 0.3 can be crucial and in winning the game. So it's about equal. And you'll see that most of your games are like that. And if you lost the game or put yourself in the very bad position after the opening, it's not because of lack of opening preparation, it's not because you play bad openings, but it was because you played bad chess. And you can also see this for yourself in your own games. So it's usually some positional blunder, some you don't understand how to behave when you are overdeveloped or underdeveloped and so on. So it comes down to general chess knowledge, not opening theory and opening preparations. There are players out there, I even met some of them who are 2000 or up to 2200 who know almost no opening theory. They don't know the names of the openings, they don't know the names of variations. But they have good positional understanding, they know their opening principles, they know to bring out their pieces, to tuck their king into safety and to play good chess. So it's enough up to that level. I say 2000, 2200, you really don't have to go deep into opening theory. Okay, you'll see I will, this is the first part of the videos regarding opening. In the second and third part I will show you some games, so I will demonstrate some of the principles I was talking about earlier. Okay, so let me show you how should you play openings. But what are the things you should keep in mind when you play openings, and how could you approach this? Okay. So first thing is what you can ask: what should be your first move? So should you play e4, d4, and the usual first moves are e4, d4, c4, or maybe knight f3. So those are all the moves which are played in the highest level. But my recommendation, and I'm very much recommending this, is that you play e4. So just play one e4. So this is the classical approach to chess. Sorry. If you play e4, you'll play just like the masters you used to play for hundred of years before. So if you look at classical games, end of the 19th century or the beginning of 20th century, most games will start with 1e4. And I also think it's very important to study classics. And this is why I will probably make another video about why it is important to study classics and how to study classics. But if you play e4, you will be able to learn from old masters much more than if you play some other openings. So this is one reason, maybe not the most important reason. The second reason why I advocate e4 is because by playing e4 you will meet lots of different responses by black, and the game will soon be opened. This is called open games. So the game will soon be opened, and you will encounter many different pawn structures, many different situations, positions. Someone you will short castle, someone in long castle, also your opponent. and in this process you will learn much about chess. Then if you would play some closed games. So this is another reason. You will just learn more about chess because you will encounter more different positions. Also, if you play e4, you will very soon, basically from maybe from move 2, you will have to turn on your tactical antenna, because everything, when you have open games and you have active piece play, then there are lots of tactical opportunities from both sides, and this will force you to think tactically, to use tactics. And this is also very important, because I believe that on this level most games are decided by tactics. In fact, who knows better tactics is usually the better player, almost as a rule. So you should not run away from tactics. If you play e4, you will grow tactically. You will grow as a tactical player, and this is very, very important also for your chess improvement, because you don't want just to play chess. You want to improve in chess. So if you want to improve in chess, you should pick up openings which helps you to improve in chess. Okay. Having said that, let's say why not play some other openings? For example, what's wrong with playing d4? Okay, nothing wrong, of course, is with playing d4. But when you play d4, you will, first of all, you go to closed games, so there are less tactical opportunities. And if you go, for example, you play something like, usually you play, after d4, you play c4. So in these close games, you are avoiding the contact, you are avoiding the encounter with your opponent into later game, and this allows you to have almost the same setup in all your games. So you will most likely always, or most of the time, you will meet similar pawn structures, and this will not help you in the chess improvement. This is one thing, and another thing is. Sometimes people say, okay, I play d4 or I play c4, something like English, because I am not so good in tactics and I'm more of positional player and I want to avoid tactics as much as possible. So I play this c4 or d4, and then I play positionally, strategically, and this is how I want to play chess. Well, I think this approach, if you want to improve in chess, is wrong, because you cannot skip steps. So the rule of the thumb, all coaches, every coach will tell you. So you have to learn how to attack, then you can learn how to defense. First you have to learn tactics, master tactical game, then you can master positional game. So first tactics, then positional game. And also you should first learn to play with your pieces and then with your pawns. So by choosing these closed games like c4 or d4, you are choosing closed games with much pawn play and without many tactical opportunities in the beginning, and this is not good for your chess improvement. So this is why I strongly advise for playing e4. Okay, let's say one more thing about systems. So it's very popular on this level with adults to play different opening systems. When I say system, I think of an opening in which you basically play the same moves whatever your opponent does. So you have your setup, you have your pawn structure, and you just play the same moves. Okay, of course it's not literally like this, because your opponent can play anything, and sometimes you cannot play the same moves all the time, but you want to play the same moves all the time. So there are several systems out there. In fact, there are lots of them, but most popular is definitely London system. You have Cole system, which is very similar. You have a stone wall attack as a white, and so on. So I would like to just talk a little about London system, since it is the most popular system. So it goes like that. It's probably not the first time you see this. So white plays d4, and let's say black responds with d5. Then your idea is to put your pawns. Sorry, okay. First of all, you put out your bishop on f4. So this is what makes London system London. And then after this move, you plan to play c3, e3, knight to d2, knight to f3, and this bishop usually goes to d3. So this is your London setup, which you hope to achieve, and in most situations you can achieve it. So let me just play some random moves here for black, so just to demonstrate the point. Let me just, okay. Okay, so it's white to move. Let's say this. I don't care about the move order now. Maybe this is a bit imprecise, but okay. So this is the typical London setup, and you can basically play these moves with your eyes closed most of the time. Okay, and now once you have this setup, you have basically two different approaches to playing the London. One is to go after your opponent's king, and just to from this point you can launch an attack. So attacking plans are one is to play h4 and then use g5 as an outpost, and then usually this knight goes here. You can bring out your queen and so on. So basically you are attacking black king right from the beginning. Another attacking plan is after you play e5, which is a typical move. You can play queen f3 and then queen h3, and then you can launch your attack. Okay, so these are some attacking ideas. Another approach to London is to play so-called positional London. So you don't want to attack, you just want to build up your position, and this can be easily done. For example, I'll just play some random moves. So you castle. If you want to play positionally, you castle. If you want to attack, you want your rook on h1, because it will join the attack very soon. Okay, but let's say you're not interested in attacking, so black plays something like this. You play queen to e2. This is typical place for a queen. And now, I don't know, black does something else. Okay, and then you can put either your rooks here, or you can put this rook on, this rook on d1, depending on your long-term plans, and you usually play h3 because if your bishop gets attacked, so it can be attacked in the safety. So this is some kind of, let's say, positional London play. Okay, so this all looks very nice. So if you look this position, there is nothing wrong with this position. e5 is under control. Your bishops are active. Your knights are also active. Okay, this d2 knight could be better, but it has its role, because this knight will go to e5, and then this knight can take his place, and so on. So it looks very nice, and lots of people are fascinated with this London system, and they say, okay, it's great. So finally, I don't have to learn any opening theory. I can play London system. I can play it every time. I know where the pieces go. If I want to attack in a blitz game, for example, I can just go for an attack. If I want to play slow positional games, I can play slow positional game, and I've solved my opening problems. So the question is, what's wrong with that approach? Well, nothing. If you don't have ambition to improve in chess, then it's a good approach. You can just play London system and play chess, and this is it. But if you want to improve in chess, then it is not good to play exclusively London system, because, like I said, you will if you play London, you will face the same pawn structures in every game. Okay, you'll have something like this, and okay, black can try some thirst, but it's also all the same ideas. So you will encounter pretty much the same ideas in every game. If you go for an attack, it will be the same attacking patterns every time. If you go for a positional game, it will be same pawn structures, same piece maneuvering every time. So you will not learn much about chess by playing exclusively London, and this is why I don't advise to play London. I mean, you can play London sometimes. You can have it as a surprise weapon. You can play it for fun, you can play it sometimes on blitz, or even on serious tournaments if you want to catch your opponent off guard, if you know that some opponents is known for preparing, so for watching your games before the game starts, and then he prepares, and so you want to surprise him, then you can play London, but not exclusively, because this will be detrimental to your chess improvement. Okay, so my advice, like I said, is just play e4 and try to follow basic opening principles. So as a white, you should, let's say black plays something like this, so you should just develop your knights before your bishops, and then in this typical position, you can choose to either play to put your bishop on c4. This is the Italian game, making pressure on. So okay, if you put your bishop on c4, you are making pressure of f7. So this is the idea. So this knight can jump here, maybe not. But okay, this is the idea, and then you just continue opening your pieces, or you can do, I don't know, Spanish game. So the question, the idea is you threaten to take this knight, or you pin this knight if you place d6, and then this pawn becomes unprotected. So this is idea. So basically, by playing b5, you are pressing the center. Or for example, third option is to play Scotch game, to immediately take the center, and you have all your pieces you are active very fast. So something like this, and you should not study this in great detail. I think maybe knowing 5 or 10 moves deep main line. So you should know main line, maybe 5 moves, well 6, 7, 10. It depends on variation, but very basic ideas. And then go out and play. You can play online. I mean, you obviously should play online chess. So you play online, you play blitz games, and then you play this opening you chose, and then in every time you play the game, afterwards you can analyze it. For example, if you play on Lichess, you can click on the book, you can click on the engine, and you can see what moves were the best in a given position. So, and this is how you learn openings. So by playing. So just learn first 5 to 10 moves, play the game. You will eventually, every now and then, you will come across the response from your opponent, which you don't know, and it's okay. Just play on general principles, and afterwards you will analyze your game. You look in the book or in the engine, and you will see what was the best move. And this is how you will acquire your knowledge without having to have some databases or anything. Okay, so this is, and also I would, while I'm here, I would like to recommend one book if you like reading chess books and do things over the board. So this book is Starting Out series, Starting Out 1E4. I think this is a very good book. It's not very thick, and it's based on open games, on Scotch game and other responses with early d4. So you can know how to play against modern defense, against Sicilian, against Petrov, against e5, and so on. And what I like about this Starting Out series is not that it has many variations, but it has many annotated games. So they tell you, okay, for example, you have Sicilian Dragon chapter, and then they give you just several moves. Okay, they give you some general ideas, general moves, and then immediately they go, you can see that this is introduction, and then immediately they go to games. So you can go through annotated games and see how masters played these openings. And you will pick up some ideas, and this is all the opening preparation you need. It's more than enough. So you don't have to learn variations, I don't know, 15 moves deep or something like that. Okay, as a black, it's a little different, because as a black you have to, first of all, you have to parry the threats from white. So the principles, opening principles are the same, but you have to always respond to whatever white is threatening. So my advice, if white plays e4. My advice to play e5. So someone can say that this is boring. So most boring response. Okay, so other responses are d5, Scandinavian. A lot of players love to play Scandinavian on this level, and okay, it can be fun. But I think that like the London system, if you play Scandinavian defense, it's okay if you want to just play chess. But if you want to improve in chess, then you should play more classical openings, because you will learn more about different pawn structures, positions, and so on. Okay, another position in c5. c5 is very popular on the grandmaster level, but again, I think on this level you should just stick to the most classical response, and this is e5. And then after e5, usually plays knight f3 or something. Then you can choose, you can just, so he's threatening, this is a threat, he's threatening to take e5, so there the most usual response is just play knight c5, or you can go for more aggressive game, Petrov, so instead of defending e5, you immediately attack e4. This can lead to some very interesting games. So just I don't know, play something like this. Also, maybe look at few videos, few master games, and just play. Go out, go online, play blitz games, analyze them afterwards, and you will soon learn how to play these positions. Okay, and if, for example, white plays d4, just play d5. So don't do anything controversial. Don't go something like, I don't know, Dutch. Now you can play f5 and have a wild game, but again, just stick to the most classical principles, and this will be best for your improvement. So white usually continues with c4, and now you can play Queen's Gambit declined, which is solid response. You could play Slav c6. So the idea is that you to support this d5 pawn. So you can support it either by c6 or e6. If you play e6, this is a Queen's Gambit decline. If you play c6, this is Slav. Slav defense is a very principled opening. So it's if you play Slav, you will most of the time you will just follow basic opening principles. So the idea is to free this bishop, light square bishop, as soon as possible. Not immediately, but as soon as possible to f5, and then to play e6 or maybe even e5 in some variations after you release this bishop. Because in the openings, when white plays d4 and black responses, the very usual situation is that this light spheric bishop is out of the play most of the game. For example, there is semi-Slav defense, this. So in this defense, you see that all the pawns are on the white squares, and this bishop is locked behind its pawns. So it will be released later in the game, but I think on this level you don't want to play half the game with one piece down. It's very difficult, and so for higher rated players, for IMs, for GMs, they know how to play these positions. But you want to have, like I said, you want to play with your pieces. You want to have active piece play. So this is why I don't recommend this. I have to power my laptop. I don't recommend playing this at this level. And also another interesting reply is to play Chigorin defense. So this is not, unlike Slav, this is not following the opening principles strictly, but it can be very fun. And it is played also on higher levels and on lower levels. It was very popular in the Romantic chess era. So you're just instead of supporting this pawn, you're attacking his pawn. So it's similar idea as Petrov defense. Okay, I think this is all I wanted to say for this video. This is you can find the whole series. This is part of a guide to chess improvement series. You can find the link to the whole series below. You can also find the link to the introductory video below, and I will continue with this topic of studying openings in the next few videos. I will show you a few games of mine and maybe some other games to demonstrate these principles. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and stay with me, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.